Just caught mine off of fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air. We back at it.
We back, baby. Let's go. SKF Weekly is in the house. You see it. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John. Jose would be here in the background. Pew, 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 pew. Let's go.
Talk about excitement, man. That's how you started up. That's how you started up. Baby. Let's go.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, bro. How you feeling, John?
I'm good, man. Just came back from my son's soccer game. He ended up they went to they were versus a cross-time rival, Cornwall High School. It's the JV team on the soccer team, and my son plays goalie, and he got what they call a clean sheet for the very first time in his short soccer career, because he's never played goalie ever in soccer, and so super proud of him. You know, they won the game 1-0. And it was a great time, man. It was a great time.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, man. It was a good time. So now I'm here ready to talk some Knicks. Made it here on time. So yeah,
yes, you did. Well. Yes, you did. Yeah, man. We rocking. We rocking. We rocking. Listen, thank you guys for all tuning in. We got a good one for you today. I'm excited for it. I've been kind of having this in my mind for a while, in the works up in here. Just like, how do I get this to happen? And, sometimes you just got to make it happen. Just reach out and see what you can do, and great things happen. So I'm really excited about this show. I know John is definitely looking forward to the conversation. We love these brothers. Individually, they're dope people. When they come together, it's like Voltron. And it just makes it all worth it, man. You know what I mean? Plus, the Knicks season is underway. We got preseason basketball to talk about. You got rumors out there, but them rumors need to be put to bed, baby, because the deuce is loose, baby. Woo-wee. All right, I'm on fire. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, yes, you are.
I don't know what's going on, man. I get so hyped when I see Deuce, because I'm like,
Deuce to the trade.
Woo, let's go, Deuce, baby!
You got to extend that, though. See him knock down the shot.
Yeah, no, I need to give him a little bit more. I'm going to give him a little bit more love.
Give him a little more.
But anyway, without further ado, let me start bringing these guys up, man. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. You know what? Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Let me say what's up to everybody in the chat real quick and then bring these guys up, because I'm not going to keep going back to the chat and showing y'all as much love as y'all need to get once these guys are up here, because we're going to be talking. Real quick, just want to say what's up. Walter Blackman in the house. Salute, Walter. Appreciate you. Andios is here. Andios. Please support Andios on Instagram. Show him some love on his channel or his platform, whatever you want to call it. He's a dope dude and dope positive stuff, man. Knicks 2025 in the building. What's up? L Damn It is here. Salute. And shout out to Knicks 2025, because he's one of the newest members of the SKF Army. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Nick P is here in the building.
We got to do a giveaway at some point for the Nick, for those who subscribe.
It's funny, right? It's funny you say that, John. Okay. Hold that thought. We'll be right back to it. Okay. Wonder Woman is in the building. Salute, Wonder Woman. Appreciate you. We got Prezi the Boss here. Salute, Prezi. David Smith is in the building. Another member of the SKF Army. We here. We rocking. JM3 is in the building. Salute. Kerry Cox is here. We got Lion of Judah in the building. Shalom, my brother.
Salute.
Hey, you made it. We got Jay, the chosen one. You check out Jay. He usually comes on the panels with us on Saturdays for Know the Ledge, but this is his first time jumping in the chat on the Monday show. So shout out to you, brother. D-Rex is in the building. What up, D-Rex? Good to see you. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, we'll get back to him. We got we'll get back to him. Look at this. We got the objective Knicks fan in the building. Salute, my brother. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Shaw Powers is in the building. Salute. Please, guys, go show your love to the objective Knick fan on YouTube. Show them some love on their show. Just hit 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago. They are blossoming, doing their thing. He's a dope dude, man. And also show some love to Shop Powers, man, and my guy Divine, Knicks Real Talk, man. They are getting you guys ready. I saw the pregame. It's funny. I watched the game, then I watched the pregame after. It's okay. It works for me. Shout out to my brother D Block in the building. First off, I just want to say thank you, D Block, for always supporting the show and very appreciative to you. Let me just read what he said here. He says, salute everyone in the panel. I want to thank you, my brother Ron, and everyone who reached out to me during my time of loss. Me and my family appreciate everyone's prayers and my Knick family. Salute to you, brother. Sorry for your loss once again. I know it's going to be a tough time, but you guys are going to get through it. You just keep depending on each other. You are the rock of the family, my brother. Do what you got to do. Appreciate you. Jet Life for Life is in the building. Salute. We got Margaret Edwards in the building. Let's go, Margaret. Appreciate you. The Sporting Page is here. Salute, Sporting Page. Thank you. He has entered. And we got Luminous P in the building. There's going to be different people that come in and show their love as we go on with the show. But I just want to give you guys a quick shout out. Thank you guys for being here as always. And once again, before I bring these guys up, because I just want to make it known and show the love to everybody, because you guys are all a part of it. But let me bring them up first. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Let me bring them up. Boom! We got Apollo from the Guard Up Knicks. Let's go, baby! Eru from Die Hard Knicks podcast in the building. Let's go. We got I-95, the bullies in the building. And we got a guy who's not. Oh, he's back. Oh, Phil is in the building. Let's go, baby.
What up? Hey, I'm going to fix my internet real quick. Talk to the guys. I'll be right back.
You got it, brother. You got it. So, what I wanted to say, John brought it up, and I want to, piggyback on that. We are going to be doing a giveaway, guys. And so I was thinking about it, like, when should we do it? And I think the best time to do it would be on the Monday show, because it's a little bit more controlled. Saturdays, it might be a little bit more hectic. So why don't we do it next Monday? We'll do the giveaway. Our first ever giveaway from Still Knick fans. It takes us a little minute to get our chips together.
It's only right. Anyway. We got $3,000, right? We got
yeah. Oh wait, what do we got? That's right, baby. 3,000 subscribers. We in the building.
Yes, sir.
Salute. Yes. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you. Appreciate the love. So, as I said, guys, I'll tell you, once we hit 3,000 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway. The only requirement that we ask is that you try to subscribe to or follow all of our social medias, whether that be, X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's okay. I know not everybody's got, be rocking with Facebook these days, but, that's cool. But really those three, that would do the trick. And yeah, we'll figure out how to go about doing it the best way next Monday. And I still have to get with the art man, because he wanted to donate a piece of art to have to be a part of the giveaway too. So we'll see if we can get in touch with him before next Monday. All right. Now, that being said, I am super excited to have the opportunity to chop it up with these 5 gentlemen. Look at this panel, and I'm just super excited, man. Great to see all you guys. Real quick, just what you been doing? How's everything? Apollo, what's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. Kids got me running crazy as usual. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? Can't really complain. I'm glad to see some Knicks finally. It was a quiet summer. I took a nice quiet break from all social media because I needed it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we back, man. It's everything's been good. Got the team running up again, so we good, man. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, dope. What about you, Eru? How you been, brother?
Same as always. I had to take a break also from social media for a little while. Took a little break from the podcasting, but I'm back on it, man. Like crazy, dropping podcasts whenever I can do it. I think podcasting is like number 2 on my list. Working out is number 1, podcasting, and then work, kids, and then my wife.
This guy's not working out.
Oh, he's dropping pounds too. I know you dropped some weight over there, Eru.
23 pounds so far. I'm still dropping.
That's dope.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Keep it going, brother. Keep it going. What about you, Bully? How you been, bro?
Same old, man. It's the on season, man. It's October. If you're a sports fan, it's the best time of year. You got hockey starting up, you got basketball, you got football, soccer, baseball playoffs, go Yankees. So, but the juices are flowing, man. We had a interesting day yesterday in regards to Knicks, but man, excited to get into it. And also, if you guys are doing a giveaway next Monday, I'm gonna throw something in there for the giveaway. But
that's dope.
Yeah, once we get to the end of the show, I'll announce what I'm putting in for the giveaway.
Oh, that's dope, bro. Thank you. See, look at that. Look at live on the spot, guys. We wasn't even expecting that, man. That's dope. Great for you guys out there who support and watch. More fun stuff to give away. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Bully. And last but definitely not least, my brother Phil Porto. What's going on, baby? We back, baby.
We back. Yo.
Oh, there he goes.
It's crazy. Like we for those that follow, there's a big season of transition when it comes to Phil all caps and Knicks content. But I'm excited for it. Me and these guys have been talking about what it's going to look like and try to figure out how we're going to be back this season. And obviously it'll look a little bit different, but I'm excited to rock with them. Was able to see the game last night in Charlotte as I was visiting some family, and the Liberty won yesterday, so all things New York basketball got me excited right now. And just being here with two of my favorites, it's crazy. We celebrated you guys hitting that milestone, but as we're celebrating, I'm also pissed off because I feel like that number should have a zero, an extra zero on it, because you guys are the truth. And I feel like you guys should get, a lot more recognition than some of these other channels that are out there. Not naming names because there's some really, really good ones. But I feel like you guys have put in work. Your content is always top notch. And most of all, the character of both of you gentlemen are top notch. And so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, shame on you. Subscribe, retweet, get these guys to 5K. Not even next 3 months from now. Get them to 5K next week. Make it happen. So salute to you boys.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Phil. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much.
So here we go.
There's so much. Oh, look at this. What you got something special over there?
So one of my favorite, because I'm a bourbon, rye guy, all that stuff, but I started fall in love with whiskey with Scotch. And so this right here is from one of my favorite brands called Compass Box out in the UK. And one of my couples got me this when I shot their wedding a few weeks ago. So they got me a few bottles of whiskey. And so this is their canvas edition. It's actually the first time I'm cracking it open. So I don't know if it's good yet. I know it will be because it's Compass Box, but their stuff is art. That's what I love about these guys. Everything they put out is like a work of art. So it'll be delicious, but cheers to you guys. Cheers to your 3,000 and to 3,000 more within the next few weeks.
Facts.
Thank you, brother. Salud. I'm drinking this premium iced tea right here. Y'all don't know about that.
Yeah. Soon we're gonna have a little branding situation with Dunkin' Donuts the way you drink that coffee.
Right. I'm already. Come on, baby. Let's go. Before I know I'm chomping at the bit, guy. You guys don't understand. I'm so excited. I mean, I don't even know which way to go. What should I? Let's talk about this. Now I gotta calm down. I gotta relax. Uncouth. I'm cool. But there's so much going on right now. And before we get into the conversation, there's one more thing I got to do because the Knicks season is upon us and people are active. And I got to show my guy some love too because he's been super active. I wanted to be able to rip this because I don't really listen. Excuse me, apologize for the sound quality. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's not going to be as good. So what I'll say is watch it here and then go watch it on YouTube yourself so you can hear the better quality. The only way for me to get that quality is if I would have ripped it. And unfortunately, I had some internet issues early, so I couldn't do it. But I'm going to play it anyway because this is my brother. He's our brother, actually. So shout out to the one and only, man. He got some heat for us. Let me put this up on the screen, and I'm going to make it big. DuckTales. This is our guy, Jay Boogie. He just dropped 2 new videos for 2 of his songs. I played one on Saturday. This is another one. Y'all know I man, love us some J Boogie. This one's called The On Season, but he got a video for it. I think the video is pretty dope.
Hey, yo, Boogie, they think when the season is over, the office don't put in that work. But we handling our business. Trades, drafts, signings. Hey, yo, guys, the God, talk to the people.
By any means necessary, Leon Rose stay working. Grind don't stop like bad break. Office stay working. 24/7, that's all night and day. There is no tomorrow, there is right away. No time off this on season. No time off this on season. No time off this on season. No time off this on season.
I told Leon and West this my on season at the summer league, new season after the summer league. I'm feeling good with the squad that's coming this year, but still I'm healing up from the wounds that short as last year. You know my name, J Boogs, I'm known to set it straight. Like Coach Tib at the games, he known to watch tape. The only coach at the games that never sit down with the hair comb to the side, swag from Midtown. The truth get told every time when I speak. Salute. 3 capital S's every time, that's me. That's me. When Rob died from the shy, you know I was sick. I'm on Shepard, damn, I lost another Nick. I'm paraphrasing the sleeve on with this movie talk. That Brunson footwork look like Mike when he moonwalk. That Nick logo, my fashion colors, they orange blue. This episode called Fred Catch and Shoot. We so different, never can be the same. Dexter Henry with the Flow Podcast, New York, we got game. My no looks in the booth, they assist you. Let it travel like Scott Foster, blowing his whistle. Nick Challenge successful. Damn, I got crazy bars. That left hand on the rim poster, John Starks. I'm reservating the finals coming next June. Club quarters, already I got 2 rooms.
By any means necessary, Leon Rose stay working. Grind don't stop like bad break. Office stay working. 24/7, that's all night and day. There is no tomorrow, there is right away. No time off this on season. 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 No time.
See, when y'all think he ain't working, all of a sudden he come with that boom. That's that office work. That's why we call this the on season. It's time to get them roses up. Get them Leon Roses up. 24-25.
By any means necessary, Leon Rose stay working. Grind don't stop like bad break. Office stay working.
Yeah, shout out to listen. That's so dope. Y'all don't get it, man. If y'all know this Knicks community, that is so dope because not only is J Boogie came with a fire track, the dude who's singing the hook is fire as well. That's dope. But that was the video was shot by our guy Julian Blum. Y'all know who Julian Blum is in this community. That is fire. So shout out to Julian. It's crazy how this Knicks community comes together, man. It's really dope. So shout out to both them gentlemen for doing the damn thing. And shout out to my guy Mike Blaze, who produced the track. We interviewed Mike Blaze before on one of our other shows. You know how it goes down. So anyway, all right. Now that being said, let's get to this Knicks stuff. I gotta start where we gotta start because we're all excited to see anything. Woo! Knicks versus Hornets recap, baby. Let's go. I gotta get your first impressions. First off, we'll dig deep into it, but just first off, your first impressions of how you think the new look Knicks, looked out there. John, what you think, brother?
Oh man, we looked impressive, man. It looked good, man, from jump. It looked exactly what I expected to see. I'm glad that we got to see 2 quarters of work, and then we got an opportunity to also see what the bench may possibly look like this coming up season. You know what I mean? So, I liked it all, man. I enjoyed it. I didn't necessarily I didn't need a win, but it was good to also get the win. So, you know what I mean? Just added a little cherry on top, But all in all, it was a good watch, man. I had a good time watching.
Yeah. No, I agree, bro. I think that it was definitely I was surprised by it. I'll tell you, I was surprised by it. I didn't think I was going to see what I saw, at least for the first preseason game. Apollo, how'd you feel about it, man? I know you talked about it a little. I didn't get to see the whole show last night. I'll be replaying everybody, man. But so what do you think about it?
I mean, it was good. It was a preseason game, as we expected. We got to see a little bit of everything. a little bit in terms of the starters, but it was definitely good to see Carl out there with Jalen, and just getting that chemistry, trying to build some chemistry out of nothing, really. It's their first time out there on the floor together. Of course, there's things to nitpick, but it's a preseason game, of course, you know what I mean? But like I said, I didn't expect to see the guys go too hard. I just thought they was going to throw the ball out there and run, just try to get some cardio in, really, and just see what spots these guys like to be in. But it was a good game. I was really more excited to see what the bench did, and they came through for it. So
yeah, agreed. What you think, Eru? How'd you feel about everything? I know I didn't get a chance. I saw you was on earlier, but I was doing some work. I couldn't really listen. So how'd you feel about what you saw?
Yeah, it's go to time now, man. I did a podcast at 7:00 today, and then I usually do watch along, so I did a watch along for the game. So initially, of course, everything's exciting when things come out. So I wasn't really too like Paulo said, I wasn't expecting to win or nothing like that, but I was expecting to see like offense. What kind of offense we were gonna run. So I mean, just watching Cat, I could see some action they've been running with Cat, getting Cat the opportunity to the post up and pass out of a post up. Cutting and stuff like that, guys going to the corners and stuff. So you can see how things can formulate. But I mean, the energy was low, just like you said, like guys are not running extremely hard and stuff like that. So it's kind of annoying. But it was good to see the bench guys come in. They came in with a lot of energy, and they basically, I don't want to say saved the game because, like I said, it doesn't count. But they came in and brought the Knicks back into it and kept it competitive. So that was dope.
Yeah, agreed. What about you, Bully? How'd you feel about what you saw? And I also, I mean, I don't know. Did you expect anything like from this first game?
No, I mean, it was a preseason game against one of the worst teams in the league. It was pretty much what I expected. I mean, there were some moments of intensity, but for the most part, it was a dry fest. If you look at like that and one that Brunson had, where he's like and one, and you saw Tibbs, like he's already in playoff form. So there were some things that stuck out to me as far as gameplay that we'll get into, but it was pretty much a standard. Is what I expected, pretty much.
What about you, Phil? How'd you feel about what happened? What you saw?
Yeah, I was there with my family, and first I was telling the guys before, it was cool to actually witness the first, game of Anthony Towns in a Knicks jersey. Like even though it was preseason, it was the first time he stepped on the court as a New York Knick, which was exciting to watch. But at the end of the day, it seemed a little bit clunky, if I'm honest. Like it seemed a bit like out of form, a little clunky, a little, like, hello?
Yep. Oh, you're here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It seemed a little clunky. And when I was there, it didn't look like a lot of people thought that there was like, oh, it's a preseason game. They're not really trying. Like I felt like they were matching the intensity of the Hornets. There was just a lot of like not knowing how to play your role yet, which is going to happen. Like my wife asked me, like, why does everything look a little bit off? And I was like, well, you got to think OG missed half of the season last year, in an injury. So he hasn't really been suited up with these guys. Karl Anthony Towns has never played with these guys. Mikal Bridges has never played with these guys. So, we lost some of the chemistry continuity from last year, but I think it's something that's easily going to pick back up. So I'm excited for it. Excited to see what, happens. But for me, the redeeming factor was seeing that bench. We had a lot of concerns with the bench, but seeing Deuce and, a lot of people don't believe Kolek's going to do anything this year. But for me, that is the opposite of what I want. I want that kid to get burned because I think that kid can be the future of these New York Knicks. So excited to see, what we see from these guys. And shout out to Landry Shamet because to me, he was one of the bright shining stars of yesterday's game when I watched it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think, the thing about us as fans, not specifically us, but in general, if we don't know too much about a guy, like if he ain't a star player, like he comes over here, it's like automatically a bum until we see how he balls, right? And I think Landry Shamet got. So the thing is, Landry Shamet has some stuff that he can do, that he's got in the tank, that is going to work great for all of the firepower and weapons that this Knicks team has. So even if you have some questions about him, like he can be streaky and all this stuff, and so, but he's going to be playing around so many good players. So I think I think he can do a lot with this team. I think we're in for some real fun times. John, I wanted to ask you, and to the point about the starting unit looking kind of clunky. I agree. They definitely looked a little, they're filling each other out. They're trying to figure out what each person likes. And now that, it's wild because we've got 2 brand new pivotal pieces on this team in our starting lineup. They definitely have some work to do to figure out how to get comfortable out there. But I like the possibilities, bro. I like what they can do. How do you feel about it's witnessing the clunkiness? How do you feel about like the possibility of what this Knicks offense can turn into?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be exceptional once they get going. I think once they start to realize where each player wants the ball or where they like to have the ball, it's really going to show the difference in the gameplay. And of course, back screens are going to be a lot more use with OG and Macau on this team versus in years prior. So, can see a lot going on, a lot in the pick and roll action. And I see Brunson, Cat really working well together there. I think it's going to be dynamic. And then, as we start rolling out the bench, Tibbs and how he likes to operate always with a starter playing alongside bench players. We're going to see what that rotation will look like. I don't expect him to go 10. I'll be extremely surprised if he went 10. But I do see him, using certain key players and key moments in the game. And I think it's just going to take a little time to gel. I don't think it's going to take that long. I think, maybe a week within the season, first 5 games, close to 10 games, they start to get it going. But I don't see us taking any losses during this time either. I expect us to win every game coming into the season. You know what I mean? And that's my expectations, bro. But I think I'm gonna like what I see. Yeah.
I try to stay off of BSPN as much as I can, but somehow it got me today. Because I just, if anything, I like to at least see what people are saying early, right? What's the early thoughts about what we got cooking? And I did notice that there was a lot of buzz around this New York Knicks team, and Brian Windhurst himself was even saying that he thinks this Knicks offense is going to be, and I don't really like listening to him, but I agree with him on this one. He thinks this Knicks offense is going to be deadly and possibly could be the best offense in the league. We'll see. Just time will tell. But what I will say,
you know what I think? I think their narrative is this, in order to sort of truncate it to the side of the Knicks right now so far, to where when they start to slip a little bit, they could just flip on us and say, exactly what, you know what I mean? That's exactly what they're doing. They're ready for the spin.
Yeah. Shout out to Monica McNutt for holding it down for us, because she's also pushing it. Yeah, let's talk about these Knicks. I appreciate Monica. But so, Apollo, do you think that what Windhurst was saying is something that might be true? Do you think that this Knicks team could be one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best?
I mean, first of all, I'm taking that BSPN. I'm taking that. I need that.
It's yours, brother.
I need that in arsenal.
Everybody should take it. I should make a shirt.
You got me on that one. I think possibly, the best. I mean, I can't just say the best. I can definitely say top 5 for sure. Once these guys get rolling, chemistry and all of that, I can at least see a top 5. I'm not saying that they won't be the best offense in the league. I think there's a possibility for a stretch, maybe here or there, where they might be in first place for a week or two or second place for a couple weeks. But I think consistently this is a top 5 offensive team, maybe even top 3 offensive team in the league, personally.
Yeah, this is crazy. I find it. I'm still got to pinch myself. Like, is this our same Knicks? Because we talked about them finding an identity for so long. When Thibodeau got here, we knew the identity would be defense, but did we have enough horses to make it come to fruition? Then we had that year with Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton, and guys were locked in on defense. And then after that, when they decided to switch up and bring some more offense, we lost that identity. And I think it's been a while for us to really get it back. Until last year, I thought we saw, the addition of OG Anunoby did wonders for that. And now this year, I'm still thinking, man, in my mind, I'm like, man, the Knicks could be one of the best defensive teams in the league. They might be the best. And now we're talking about offense. This is like the Twilight Zone. This is a wild time. Eru, what's your thoughts on how far we've come from the team that doesn't get any props, doesn't get recognized, poorly run infrastructure, don't have a clue as to what we're doing on the basketball court, to a possible championship contender who could be one of the best defensive teams, one of the best offensive teams? Like, what the hell's going on here, bro?
Well, I mean, ESPN, they like to say they basically built their company on the back of Knicks fans. You know what I'm saying? So right now the Knicks are up, so they have to have guys in there talking good about the Knicks in order to keep the algorithm popping for them. You know what I'm saying? Get the money flowing. So whatever they say, I don't care, because most of the stuff they kind of like jinx us a lot. They've been putting us 44 wins, 45 wins. A lot of times they're putting us like our players individually, they're putting them like low on the list and stuff. So whatever they say, who cares, man? You know what I'm saying? But what we say is I think it's the most important thing. But as far as like the offense and stuff, I think the Knicks have to just move the ball. I just like the preseason game. Guys were just trying to fill things out. But there was a couple points where Josh Hart could have probably made a quicker pass or a quicker cut. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. He's still trying to find himself. He was kind of stuck a couple times, looking to make a move, didn't really know what to do. But as things get together, them moving that ball, that's what's gonna make the offense good, because we have guys that can hit the shot, we have guys that can move without the ball. They know where to go on the court. So as soon as that starts going, it's really gonna be with moving that ball. That's what's gonna get it going.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Bully, you think that now that this first preseason game has happened and the jitters are out, you expect that in the next game you'll see that the starters have really started to gel? Because I got to tell you one thing, and I mean obviously you can point to whatever things that you saw that really stood out to you. There's a lot of stuff that happened in that first quarter that didn't turn out the way it should have, but it looked good. And I'm like, I like what's happening here. It didn't pan out, but I'm like, whew.
So because you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, and that's
why I didn't want to keep talking.
So if you go back and you look at the stats from minute 1 until halfway through the second quarter, Knicks had 6 turnovers, and that's a lot, especially for a Thibodeau team. That's a lot. But if you go back to last year, after we got OG Anunoby, look at our turnover rate that first month of January. It was sky high, but it was healthy turnovers. It was guys trying to play the right way. And like what stood out to me was when they were running the offense, you had Cat, but then you also had Brunson with him on the strong side, and then you had Hart, you had OG cutting, and we saw Towns doing a lot of passes from the low block, which to me was kind of surprising. And then also, if you guys remember, where he had the ball, OG was on the strong side with him. OB cut, and Cat led him for a lob. OG got the shot blocked, but like I didn't know that he was capable of those type of passes. So that really stood out to me. And in regards to the offense, I don't want to like poo-poo anything, but to be a top offense, and we can't forget about Indiana. I mean, that team is legit. And you figure, Benedict Mathurin got hurt for a while. So when they get him back, Obi looked really good the second half of the season. So that's going to be a good offense. The Knicks finished, I got it here, 7th last year on points per 100 possessions. So you figure with a healthy team, with a better team, they should go up. But for it to be a top offense, like number one offense, I'm not there yet, but I don't look at as a negative. As we saw yesterday, they mentioned the Knicks were was one of 3 teams that had a top 10 offense and defensive net rating. If you go back to the past 3 or 4 champions, they've all had a top 10 offense and defense. So I don't think it's necessary, but I kind of want to see more of those healthy turnovers so they can figure it out.
Right. Yeah, and I think I think that you nailed it when you said it's not necessarily necessary. Like, we don't have to be the best on the offensive side and the defensive side to win and do damage in this league. They can be a really solid team on both ends, and that's, it's all about putting it all together. So we'll see. Phil, I think that we've watched enough basketball to know that gelling and getting chemistry takes some time. And I think that this Knicks team is no different from any other team. I always point to it as my example when we talk about teams getting that chemistry and the C word continuity. I always talk about the fact that the Miami Heat played basically almost 3 weeks to a month of the season looking terrible. They had got when that this is, for you young whippersnappers, this is back when they first got LeBron, added Bosh to Wade.
They were one game under 500 for the first 25 games.
Exactly. They did not look good at all. They were trying to figure each other out, and they were all trying to play their game and do their thing. Eventually, Bosh had to take a little bit of a backseat, and then they found themselves and they found their roles. But the point is, with this Knicks team, knowing that, technically when you think about it, OG Anunoby is still a fairly new player for this team. So even if he was with the team, he understands how things work. They got some chemistry there. He's still fairly new in the fact that the offense has changed once again as far as how everybody's used. So you got OG Anunoby, you got Mikal Bridges, brand spanking new, and you got Karl-Anthony Towns, who's brand spanking new, and you're throwing in, it could be Josh Hart, who would be new to that particular position as a shooting guard, which, that's one of those things that definitely didn't look great yesterday. It can work as far as the other aspects of it, but him as a shooting guard, I don't love, but it is what it is. But Phil, your thoughts on that mix, and, do you think it's going to take a long time for this team to gel and get that going, especially the starting lineup?
So I don't think it'll take a long time, but I think it will take some time, because what we have to realize is now we have 3 guys in Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Karl-Anthony Towns, who last year were playing pretty much like lead offensive roles. Yes, you had Anthony Edwards over in Minnesota, but Karl-Anthony Towns was still Karl-Anthony Towns, like a very huge part of their offense. You had Mikal Bridges, who was over in Brooklyn. Pretty much him and, Cam Thomas were trying to put that team on their back ever since the trade. That was the guy that they were trying to build upon, apparently, is what we were told. So you have 3 guys who were pretty much the 1 or 1B offensive option, now all on the same team. Figuring out, okay, who scores when? How do we score? Now we can score in different ways. Now you can stretch your big. Now you can play the pick and roll. Now you do have 2 guys in OG and Mikal who can hit the 3 from the corners. So I think it's one of those things when we're traveling as a family and we search for food in one of these small little nobody towns. It's all right, you got 3 options, because everything else is a 2.5 star or under. So it's all right, which of those 3 sound okay? But then I go back to New York and I'm I'm hungry. And it takes me about an hour and a half to decide what I want to eat, because I have so many options, so it's hard to pick the right option when you have so many options. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for our guys to realize what the best way to score is going to be. I don't think there was that much of a question when it came to the offense, because Landry Shamet knows, okay, I'm one of the shooters on the bench. Like, I know my role. I'm a shooter, McBride, I'm going to run this because I've been here the longest. There was more designated roles on the bench, which is why I feel like that went a little more like smoother than the starting lineup. And then I'll stop my rant. But the last thing I want to say is I see people in the chant talking about how Kolek won't get his shine until he learns how to be like an NBA defender. And I want to bring it to your attention that he had the most steals, him and Landry Shamet, in the preseason game yesterday. He had a block and only had 11 minutes. So I don't think this is a guy that's not going to play defense. I think that once this guy really gets affiliated with Thibodeau's defensive schemes, I think he's going to be a problem on both ends of the court.
Right. I hear you. I think he does. Real quick, I was going to say, I think he gives me Jalen Brunson effort vibes. He may not have all the tools, but he gives the effort, and that'll be good enough to get him through. I want to hit it over to Eru because I know Eru got to get out of here, and I appreciate you as always, my brother, for being here and rocking with us in any capacity, and especially being a part of this combination Still Knicks Fans nightcap show. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, it's all love, the MBK, also network, Still Knicks, and of course with Phil and 95 and Guard Up Knicks got it going on. We always help each other out. But what I was gonna say when it comes to just like the offense, like I said, as far as fans, people watching, people keep talking about like Phil's talking about, people keep talking about like narratives rather than what actually happened in the game. I know it's preseason, but we can't talk about something that will happen or didn't happen, or like most of my group chats that I'm in, they were talking about Mitchell Robinson. He wasn't even with the team. So why are we wasting the energy to talk about things that are not there? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to focus on. I think that's going to be like the major point of just like the season, I think, because we're a really good team. So now we can legit start talking basketball. And the people that don't really know what they're talking about, they're going to expose themselves because they're still going to be talking about shit that didn't happen, or stuff that's not happening, or imaginary basketball or fantasy stuff, instead of what exactly is happening on the court. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to appreciate this year, and that's what I'm going to look forward to. So yeah, little last thoughts before I get up out of here. Definitely, man.
You're muted, Ron. You're muted, Ron.
You still
you're muted.
Yeah.
He's going through it.
Still
You
having
gotta
mic issues.
He's gonna check his Yep.
Well, I check you guys, man. Thank you guys for inviting. So next time I'll try to stay a little longer, man. Sorry about that.
Man, it's all good. As many times as you feel it for me, man, you always get a pass.
You're the same person, man. You're the same person.
I appreciate you, bro.
Love is love. Hero be easy, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Peace.
Yeah. Let's see. Ron, nothing yet? No.
Nah.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean that's a really good take by Eru, because I notice a lot of times when I like tune into other podcasts or even on, there you go, Ron, you're back. I just wanted to touch real quick on what Eru was saying, is that a lot of folks like to project sort of what they see in the future. You know what I mean? And I think we have a good enough team personally that I think like there's no real need to project anymore. We have a quality team that we're going to see game in and game out. And it's great to sort of think about what can be, but like now we have to live in the moment, right? Because this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for the opportunity to root for a team that has the caliber of players that we have now. And thanks to Leon Rose and the rest of the front office and team, they made enough moves to put us in a position to win. So now it's just about us, rooting as fans and the players going out there and proving this right, and proving the front office right for making the moves that they made.
Mm-hmm. Right, 100% agree with you. Can't agree with you more about that. The other thing I wanted to say real quick before we move on, just I see the chat. The chat is popping. Thank you to everybody who's here. We got 148 watching across all platforms. I know it's a very, you know how it is in the Knicks community. Mondays are a lot going on. There's a lot of people that are streaming right now as we speak. So the fact that even 148 of y'all are tuned in over here is dope. Definitely appreciate you. And I know the replay gang is going to be strong. But I also want to say, listen, guys. It's the new season, y'all. Expectations are running wild. We had a really good preseason game. We even won the preseason game, which I wasn't even expecting that. But that's a good sign that the young guys fought through and got the victory. Because there was a time I was like, it doesn't look like we're going to win. But we did. Let's not be arguing, going back and forth in the chat, man. Show love, man. It's Knick basketball. We back, baby. Let's go.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Come on, y'all.
It's crazy to
Phil.
me. Like I try so hard to understand the Knicks fan base, and year after year, as a content creator, I can't figure it out. Like I see on other people's timelines, like different creators, like, oh my goodness, like this guy got his first NBA bucket. It's like in the last like 3 minutes of a no, worth game. It doesn't really matter, but they're like cheering on the fact that this guy got his first bucket in the last 3 minutes. They're like, oh, our rookie scored. We're so happy. And then as Knicks fans, it's like, oh, well, who cares? He was playing against this. He was playing against that. It wasn't good. Like, can't we celebrate the fact that like our rookies are getting, like a little bit of time, that we see some skill sets in our rookies? Like, why do we got to be such Debbie Downers? Let's enjoy the fact that we got what I believe is the steal of the draft. Like, he's a young, really, really like wise point guard, and he has the like chance to really grow with a guy like Jalen Brunson ahead of him. So like for me, I'm just like, yo, Knicks fans, don't be miserable. Let's enjoy the fact that we have something to celebrate. Like, it's crazy to me.
100%. Why are we getting all hot and bothered over stuff that doesn't matter? All that matters is that we are here. We are talking. We are chopping it up on SKF Weekly. I got Apollo in the house. Bully's here. Phil's here. Eru just left, but he was here. And my brother John is here. We talking about our Knicks, baby. Let's go. That's all that matters. Come on, man. Jeez, guys, we gotta chill.
Yeah, you know what it is? I was thinking about this, right? And like this was the past like 6 to 7 months have been very emotional for Knicks fans, where you have your kids coming in, the new guys coming in, and our connection with the team it's bigger than like the Knicks. Like, it represents us. It's like our city. And you see the guys that built the house are gone. And then you have these new players that took the mortgage out on the house, like RJ, Quickly, Randall, Hartenstein. Those guys built the house. That Brunson and Bridges and OG, they have the mortgage on. So like it's this weird nebulous. Whereas Knicks fans, we haven't been here in forever. Probably, in my opinion, since like 96, 97, the best Knicks team in my opinion. But like it's this weird place where it's emotionally it's in a strange place for sure.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. We're in a wild time right now, but we're gonna get through it. I just know that sometimes you just got to give people time with everything, and I think the Knicks fans, the ones that are skeptical, the ones that don't know, and some people are right to be skeptical. You need to see a little bit more. That's fine. It's cool, but let's wait. Let's watch. Let's do this together. We'll get through it. Just wanted to shout out, because you guys heard that sound. That means we got a super chat. Shout out to my guy 713 Gamer in the building. What up, Flicker D? What's happening, my brother? He said, "Let's run them likes up. Still Knicks fam. Let's go, baby." Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for always supporting the show, bro. Also, we got another super chat. Our guy Paris Duggar in the building. Salute, Paris. Appreciate you. He said, "OG looks awful finishing still. Bridges must be much more aggressive. Sims put his weight back on and did good. Shamit is Dante now, and Deuce Kolek Cam." Thumbs up. Okay. Nice assessment there, Paris. I see where you're going. I mean, I will say one thing. One of the things I did hear last night is that maybe OG looked a little rough finishing, but as far as in shape, he looked great. Everybody was like, "Man, OG looks like he's in fantastic shape." So that's a good sign. Hopefully he's been well conditioned, and them legs can take him through at least 62 to 65 games this season. We'll see, and then playoffs, of course. But yeah, I think that Sims. Let's talk about Jericho Sims. Okay. Sims was interesting to me. I was wondering how he was gonna fare. And he started off kind of slow, a little hesitant, unsure, but that's okay. It's a preseason game. The lights, it's on, it's all happening. But as he started to keep going, I felt like he started to come into his own and get comfortable out there. I want to get your thoughts on what you guys saw and how you felt about Sims's game overall. John, what did you think when you saw Sims out there?
No, man, don't come to me. I want to see what.
Oh no!
I want to hear what Bully got to say.
Oh no! Okay, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, guys.
No, it's a great thing because, to be honest with you, I'll give my take afterwards. But I go Bully.
Okay, all right. Apollo, what's your thoughts on Jericho and how he looked? Uh-oh. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Apollo, you're muted.
Uh-oh. Apollo, I think you're muted. Oh.
My bad. Kids was acting up, so I had to mute it.
So you good.
Jericho Sims. Okay, so I don't know where to start. So preseason, full disclosure. Preseason. Okay. I'll preface this by saying, like, shout out to God Up Knicks, my guys. My one of my co-hosts, Joe, he says it to me all the time. He's the 58th pick. What do you expect? So in that realm, if you preface it by saying he's the 58th pick, I can't really expect too much from Jericho, right? The tools are there. He has a lot of athleticism. He has a lot of he has the size, the athleticism, the physical tools are there. But the elevator, you know what I'm saying? Like, just doesn't go all the way to the top. You know what I mean? But I can't. He's a 58th pick at the end of the day. You know, I have to tell myself that he is a 58th pick. Now, does that mean he's not capable of developing? Hell no. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean he's not capable of developing. But at the end of the day, he is the third big off of our bench. If we're being honest, like, he's really not going to play much. He played 20 minutes last night. I don't see a regular season game where we will see 20 minutes of Jericho Sims. I just don't see that happening. Personally, I don't see it happening. And that's not too much of a thing against Jericho, but more that you have Cat, you got other guys out there, Precious, when Mitch comes back. I don't see a 20-minute game. We had trouble getting 15 minutes out of Obi Toppin. So, like, to get 20 minutes of Sims, like I said, he had 10 rebounds last night. Good. He did his job last night in the preseason game. I'm not going to say that he's going to give you 10 rebounds mid-season when other guys are throwing the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big box to unpack when it comes to Sims, but he's the 58th pick. We can't expect too much from him. So I have to calm my expectations down for what he is and what he's bringing us. He's doing a good job.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's the nicest
I can put it.
And that was very nice of you. I think you did really well at being very nice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to Phil because I feel like Bully ain't gonna be so nice. So hold on. I'm gonna go to Phil. Phil, your thoughts on Sims?
All right, so it's hard because if you date back to when he used to play college ball, like, you got to go back to when he was playing with Texas. Okay. It was a completely different style of offense for a player like Jericho Sims. Like, you weren't looking for a Jericho Sims that can be like a Karl Anthony Towns or even a Joel Embiid or anybody of that caliber that was an actual offensive threat. You were just looking for a guy who, in a fast-paced moving offense, was willing to catch a lob and slam it down, or willing to pick and roll and get the ball back on a cut and slam it down. We don't really run that on our bench. Like, that's not how our bench unit runs. Like, if you think about it, the last time our bench unit actually ran like that with a quick, like, fast-paced lob type offense was with Obi Toppin. Like, that was the last time we saw anything of that kind of caliber in our second unit. Why? Because that's not the DNA of our team anymore. Like, it's just not. So when you have a guy like Deuce McBride, who has elevated his game incredibly, but is still not a run the offense first kind of like fast pace, like passing kind of guard. And then you have a center in Sims who's pretty much just going to catch lobs and get a pick and roll dunk. He's not getting any of those opportunities. It's pretty much we throw him the ball at the top of the key. Jericho Sims is not someone I ever want to see getting a pass at the top of the key. Like, what is he really going to do there? No defense is going to be intimidated at the fact that Jericho Sims is close to a three-point line with a basketball in his hand. So I think it's just our offense is not designed for a one-trick pony like Jericho Sims. Like, it's just not. It's not the kind of offense that a player like him is going to thrive at. I think if we had a move the ball first guard playing nonstop, like let's say Kolek in 2 years, and that was the kind of guard that Jericho Sims had, we might see a little bit more of his skill sets. But I don't think we're going to see anything with that right now. So I think right now, Jericho Sims is like putting a square peg in a circle hole and us being like, oh, it might work. No, it's not. Like, it's not going to work. It's going to continue to look clunky because that's what it is in this offense. So it's hard to just judge him as a player when he's completely out of his element. So that's my opinion.
Okay. Bully.
Jericho Sims was the 50th pick in the draft. I get it. I agree with every single thing that Apollo said. But this guy's been in the league 3 years.
4
years. What has he developed? What has he shown that's been so different from day one until now? Like, what has he shown? The guy still can't time his rebounds. Defensive rebound. If you don't believe me, go look at the numbers. Defensive rebound, bottom of the league of all centers. So, like, what good is he? Any championship team does not have a Jericho Sims in their lineup, in their rotation. Jericho Sims is a guy, God bless his heart, 15th, 14th guy on the bench. Like, and realistically, Precious Achiuwa would, in most rotations, be the third big or the third power forward or center, however you want to categorize it. It's not to poo-poo him, like Apollo said, like, he is what he is. And I don't have any like high expectations. Like, what we've seen for the past few years with this player is what I expect to see going forward. So, like, when I see fans like trade Sims or give Sims minutes, like, in what world, in what championship rotation are they gonna run plays for Jericho Sims? No matter what his skill set, there isn't a single coach, like a real good coach with a good offense, that's gonna say, let's run a play for Jericho Sims. Like, I don't get it, but I am fair. I am fair. You know, if you go look at the lineup data from last year from cleaningtheglass.com, it's what I use. One of the Knicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, their seventh best lineup in terms of offense. You guys aren't going to believe this. Played 115 possessions together. This lineup: Jalen, Brunson, Devo, Hart, Achiuwa, Sims. Like, Hart, Achiuwa, Sims. Like, where's the spacing coming from in that lineup? But in this lineup, they scored 125 points per 100 possessions. Top quarter in the league. So, like, I don't know. I don't see what it is with this guy. Like, I appreciate him for what he is. You know, when Mitch got hurt, he would come in, he would fill in. But what role does he play on this team in a tight game, in a big game, or in crunch time? Like, do you want a Jericho Sims out there on the floor? No. Like if you're going against Boston, do you want Sims on the floor? No. I don't care if it's Al Horford out there. You don't want him on the floor. But I will say his skill set is more his athletics, his physicality. He's agile, he's quick, he can jump. You know, it's 1,000 guys that can do that.
So that's a very fair point. Another fair. Wow. Hey, you know, listen, I can't argue with this. I'm gonna say something in a minute, but I got to get back to John. John. Now, Jericho Sims.
All I had to say was this was a typical Sims showcase. Like this is exactly what he's been in the past. Like I didn't see anything different. It was a typical showing of what we've seen from Sims in the past. So I'm hoping that he can get going at some point if we're going to play him. I don't necessarily think we will be if this is what the outcome's going to be. But
can I ask John a question?
You sure can.
John, were you surprised to see Achua and Sims out there together? And how did you think it looked?
I wasn't surprised because it was a preseason game. You know what I mean? I expected Tibbs to play as many people as he can. How did it look? It was average at best. I mean, you know what I mean? I think it was more so what I enjoyed most was seeing the 3 guard rotation. I think that
he had the 3 guards.
Yeah, that stood out for me because I think the pace of the game shifted with those 3 guys on the court. And didn't expect him to be a part of the offense that much. I mean, there were moments where he had an opportunity to show something and he kind of botched it. But, you know, what can you expect? Again, this is typical Sims, you know, showcase. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Paulo.
If you're a big, right, who doesn't get a lot of burn in the league and you want to add to your bag as a big, what position of a former player would you get to assist you in said footwork or big man?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Right.
He's got Brunson on his team. You want to talk about footwork?
Well, he's got at least that's somebody who has some confidence, I guess, experience working with the post game. I didn't understand the Mike Bibby thing this summer. I just didn't. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand why he was working with Mike Bibby. I love Mike Bibby. I was a huge Mike Bibby fan. He was my favorite point guard at one point when I was younger. Love Mike Bibby, but Jericho, what are we doing here? Like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I and that's not to say anything about him, but like, I would like to see you develop. I don't want to see you be ass. You know what I mean? Like, for being real, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see you get with someone who can really add to that bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just, it was just weird when I saw him working with Mike Bibby. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, that's, I love to see you working, but
Paulo's so nice.
I mean, no, I mean it's fair. It's fair. I see where he's going. It's fair. It's fair.
To add on to this, though, to add on to this question, who is our big coach? Who's the coach on our team that we brought in?
Being that you're asking that, John, and I will say this because I was going to say this anyway. Apollo is right. You know, from a lot of the summer, Jericho Sims was working with Mike Bibby. However, the last 3.5 weeks or so of the summer going into training camp, he was working with Mark Bryant.
Yeah. Okay.
And so maybe he needs a little bit more time to work with Mark Bryant, but I do feel like Mark Bryant is going to continue to work with him. And I also feel like the addition of Patrick Ewing in whatever capacity he's here in, because I already heard that he was working with Cat a little bit just because he's at practice. And I think Patrick Ewing being around is going to be a good influence on all the bigs. But the other thing I wanted to say about Jericho, and everything you guys said, I agree with 100%. As far as who Jericho is right this minute, what we saw on the court last night, that is the Jericho we know. But I do feel that Jericho is one of those players that the more he's out there, the better he gets. I do feel like the more he gets comfortable, the more he feels good, you know, flexing his body around, grabbing rebounds, maybe getting a putback or two, getting some dunks, getting to the free throw line. I think he'll get better and he'll be a little bit more of a
More serviceable.
a serviceable asset to the team. Yes. Yeah. He's not there yet. And also it doesn't hurt. Doesn't help, should I say, that his introvert style is one of those, like, it takes him a while to, I think he's got to work through that whole malaise he gets in. So we'll see, because he'd be looking like he'd be lost, B. So we'll see.
The reason why I asked about Mark Bryant is, and no shade, I mean, everybody deserves a job in the NBA, but what was his stat line in the NBA? Like, he was a bruiser. Like, he wasn't getting buckets. You know what I mean? Not in the NBA, college possibly, but in the NBA, he wasn't really getting buckets like that, and he didn't have much to his game either. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're bringing guys in who are going to teach bigs to have footwork. You have to bring guys to the coaching staff who knows how to play with footwork, not necessarily a Mark Bryant type. You know what I mean?
But in fairness to Mark Bryant, apparently not. And listen, before the Knicks got him, I didn't know any of this. Apparently, he's worked with some bigs around the league and got them better. Like, he's worked with DeAndre Ayton and improved his game offensively. He's worked with Jalen Duren and improved his game.
Ayton had game in college. What are you talking about? He had footwork in college. He was
listen, I'm just saying that's what they say.
I think that's hoopla, man. That's phony. That's phony. We can tell by what people come into from college with. You know what I mean? Like, now, if you say he became a stronger player in the block, then you would say, okay, maybe that was Mark Bryant. You know, give him a little something like that. You know, some tools there. You know what I mean, to help with his physicality. But not footwork. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, certain guys are getting jobs just because of who they know and who they cool with. You know what I mean? Because the reality is, it's just who you know is getting you the job. Same thing with you know, I'll bet our entire bench, you know what I mean, coaching staff is about who you know. You know what I mean? And who they connected with.
That's how they build a team in their organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So to say that these guys are gonna help a guy like Sims out to develop, it's like, gotta take that with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Right. It's up to Sims whether he wants to develop a certain part of his game or if he's capable of, you know, taking something on like that. Because not too many players are capable. You may want to, but you just probably ain't capable of doing it.
Yeah, I listen, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. When it comes to coaches, like, unless it's the head coach, it's tough to know exactly what people do. You know, training coaches, it's tough to know exactly what they've done to assist players in the league. Because I see someone asked in the chat, what did he do with Duren? He worked with Duren he came from, you know, Detroit's current coaching staff or whatever. He worked with Duren throughout the fact of him coming out of college, being drafted to now, for the most part. So, and apparently they said Duren did well under his tutelage. So I don't know enough about him to really get into it. Like, I hear what John is saying. When I first heard we were getting Mark Bryant, I'm like, all right. I mean, he's all right. Like, it's almost like Othello Harrington. Like, what? Okay.
I don't know. His best years, he scored probably like 8-9 points. Best years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a guy who was dependent upon to score the bucket. You know what I mean? Score points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Othello Harrington probably had better stats than he did when he was playing.
There's a possibility there. Offensively, yeah, Othello used to get busy with the lefty hooks and stuff. We'll see. Well, it's a wait and see with Jericho, but let's hope for the best because we need him to step up. Even if the Knicks don't find him as being a pivotal piece that's going to be here for the long haul, at least you want him to get better, good enough that we can move him, right, and get something back for him. Because if he doesn't improve, then he's not going to be much of a trade asset either. But I feel good because he's wearing the number 20, so you know what that means. I don't know what it means, but
Allen Houston.
I don't know. I know what that means, but I don't know what that means for him. But we'll see. Anyway, I want to talk about this guy real quick. We don't have much more because it's getting late, but I want to talk about this guy real quick because I think every year and I'm not always right, but every year I think I got an X factor for the Knicks. Like at one point I thought Doc Rivers' son was going to be the X factor, and Austin didn't last too long. So I'm not always right here. But
wow,
I think I think this guy is going to be the X factor for the Knicks all season, and I think most people will agree he has a good chance to be that guy. Let's show a little quick highlight. See, I don't care. It's a Monday show. I know these people are going to get me with the copyright. It's all right. It's okay. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know who this guy is. Let's
Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
He was always a top-notch defender.
Give me that.
And knocks it away right on cue. Takes it from Meacham.
Baby.
Goes inside. And
Let's
throws
go.
it down. He was always
All
a
right.
top-notch defender.
You get it. Anyway, I think Deuce McBride is going to be the X factor for this team. I think, we've had some really interesting conversations about Deuce and how good he can be and where his ceiling is. Who knows, man? I tell you one thing, everything that we thought was a negative about Deuce that has been a true negative, he has worked on. He has worked to become better at it. He's worked on getting a faster, more effective first step. He doesn't have a great handle, but what he did, instead of focusing so much on putting the ball between his legs and working on it, which he can, he's gotten better. If you guys noticed, this summer he was working on his handle more too. Mm-hmm. So I pay attention. But even he's got a one-handed dribble thing that he can do. He's got like a little bit more that he's he's got a little bit more he's added to his bag here. And the shooting is incredible. Look, I knew that Deuce could shoot in college. I knew he could knock down the three here and there, but I knew his mid-range was really good. And I'm like, we got to get this guy to start using that more. But he's become even better at shooting threes. This guy is improving right before our eyes, and that confidence on the offensive end is just lending itself to his defensive confidence, which he's already strong at. Just got to think, positive about it, but I'm feeling really good. Your thoughts on Deuce, John? Because I know Deuce is one of those guys you've always liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's the complete opposite of what I said about Sims. You know what I mean? Like, this is a kid who, had a lot of upside coming into the league, was drafted second round, and has able to build on, his potential here in the NBA and here with the Knicks, which is a tough market, right? To maximize your ability and you know what I mean. And then with Tibbs as his coach, the expectations are high, and so I think he's done a fantastic job of developing and not allowing the noise to creep in, you know what I mean? Because there was a lot of noise about whether he can be a point guard of the future or not, whether he can be a sixth man coming off the bench for Brunson and running offense. Can he run an offense? I don't think he can. He's not paying attention to none of the noise. He's going out there and proving people wrong, going out there and playing his game, whether you like it, whether it looks good or it doesn't. He's out there playing the game he knows how to play, and it's all about intensity. And that's the one thing you can't define as his intensity. You can't. He's all about it. So I love his upside. I love what he's bringing. And he's going to play a lot of minutes this year. You know what I mean? Especially with DiVincenzo not on this team. I expect him to be one of the first two people off the bench. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I like where it's going, though, for his career.
Yeah, I agree with that, too. Before I get over to, I know Phil's probably having some internet issues. He should probably be right back. Before I get over to Apollo, I just wanted to say shout out to you, Sherwin. Thank you for being here as always. Appreciate you. He says when Deuce played in the G League, he was a 50% shooter from threes. In college, he was like 44%. Actually, I was just looking at his college stats because you know how I do. He was 36.8 from three for his college career. And he shot 41% from the field, which, I mean, those, don't get me wrong, those are not slouchy numbers. Those are good numbers, especially to improve on and come into the NBA. You can work with that. But I mean, come on, man. No, there's no offense to you, Sherwin. You know how I respect you, and you always have some great numbers, some great stats, and some great info. I don't care about no G League numbers, man. I watched Jimmy Fredette go nut in the G League. I watched Deuce be one of the top 3 players in the G League. I watched freaking who's the other Villanova cat who's with the Cavs now, I think. I forgot his name. He was from Detroit. Ugh, whatever. He led the G League and he was like a quadruple double dude.
Oh, you're
like
talking about Sadiq Bey?
Sadiq Bey was killing in the G League that year. Killing, dude. His numbers was phenomenal. I was like, oh, he was averaging 30 plus points, 10 assists, like 8 rebounds. I'm like, what are we doing here, man? The G League, the non-defense league. Get out of here. Sorry, that's not to you, Sherwin. That's to the G League. Step up your game, G League. I don't know, bro. Apollo, what's your thoughts on Deuce?
So I've never really said it out loud, but he reminds me of a specific player. I mentioned earlier that I was a big fan of Mike Bibby. Someone that I played with Mike Bibby that I also loved that was a 6-man was Bobby Jackson. And he reminds me a lot of that kind of player. Mm. And I'd love to have that kind of player on his team for as long as possible. To have a guy off the bench like that who can just give you whatever you need. You know what I mean? Going to him for playmaking things is probably not what you want right now, which is probably why you have all those other guys in that guard rotation off the bench. If you really want him to just play the role of, spot up shooter or backdoor cuts or all that other stuff, he does anything you need him to do. So, 6 man of the year is something that I'm putting not right now, but just an accolade that I think he should strive for. I think that's something that he can actually obtain, especially from what he's shown right now. He's a two-way player. He gets after it. Regular season, playoffs. You saw what he did last night. He single-handedly changed the whole trajectory of the game. Like, Tyler Kolek did his thing, but that wasn't really until the third quarter. We're really being honest. Like, second half of the third quarter, you saw Tyler. But from the first quarter, as soon as Deuce went in the game, immediate impact. So, right. I'm big on Deuce, man. Huge Deuce fan. I don't want him to go anywhere. I just think that he has the ability to, battle for that 6-man spot. Not this exact year, but he'll definitely be up in the whatever for it, the top few guys.
Right. No, I agree. And let me do this. Let me put this up while I get to Bully and his thoughts on Deuce, and he can talk about him while we put this clip up real quick. And also, listen, I entertained it this past Saturday because it's been kind of moving around. I don't want Marcus Smart for Deuce. Look, I don't care. I don't care how good Marcus Smart, his pedigree is. I know he was a defensive player of the year. I know he brings the championship mentality. I don't care. I think we could win with Deuce. I think Deuce can mimic a lot of what Marcus Smart can put out there. Yes, maybe Marcus Smart has run around the league and he's seen every player on every team, so he knows their tendencies. You keep letting Deuce get out there and play, he's going to get that same experience. Just give him some time. So let's rock with our young bull, man. We got one. Bully, your thoughts on Deuce?
Yeah, so I want to play this clip really quick that I found interesting yesterday. Look at this sequence by Deuce.
That's what you focus on in the preseason. Deuce McBride. He's
knocking it down. Okay.
From the field.
Watch how he navigates these double screens. Like, this was amazing to me. Stuck with the guy. So for me, like, I get excited for things like that, where you hit a contested spot up three in a deep corner, and then on the very next possession, it's hard to fight over those screens. We lived through RJ Barrett. We know this. And for Deuce, like, I don't care about the point guard stuff. Like, he's a 6'2", 6'1" wing. He's not I don't think he's ever going to be a point guard, but it's not a knock. Like, the way this guy shoots the ball, where he shoots the ball from, like, his pull-up mid-range game is out of this world. And, I do want to see him improve a little bit on the defensive end as far as, because we saw what happened in the playoffs. We saw Halliburton get to him. We saw TJ McConnell get to him a little bit in the playoffs. So, but for me, Deuce is someone like opening night, he may play 35 minutes. Like if you go through and you do the math, let's say Knicks players 1 through 4 played 35 minutes, which I don't think they will play that much, but that's going to leave like 25 to 35 minutes a night for Deuce. So for me, like 6th man of the year is this year. And I think he will get some consideration for MIP as well. I don't think he's going to have the counting stats to get to MIP because usually for MIP, they look at the points per game, they look at the jump. But if it was a serious award, he would have been considered last year. But for me, he should be top 2, top 3 for 6th man of the year this year. And so like I kind of got queasy when I saw people like, oh, Walker Kessler, this and that. And I'm like, Deuce with that contract is out of this world. And one thing as well, what was interesting with that game, the first sub out the game was Mikal Bridges. So what I think is going to happen, if you look at the way Tibbs with the rotations last year, RJ was usually the first guard or wing off. So I think you're going to see a lot of Mikal and Deuce minutes together. So that's what I'm looking forward to see like how that's going to look is Mikal and Deuce with that second unit. And I'll wrap it up here. I don't think Deuce should start because like he's too good to be the 5th option with the starters. And, you mentioned when he came into the game, he had 10 shots or 11 shots in the first half. He's not getting that with the starters. So I look at 2 things. How can I give Deuce more responsibility and what's best for the team? If you start him with Jalen Brunson, you're going to have rebounding issues, which I think we're going to have some issues there on the boards defensively already. So I do like Josh Hart starting, but I want to see Deuce and Mikal get some good burn together. Sorry, I'm long-winded, y'all.
No. This is great stuff, man. This is why I was so excited and looking forward to this conversation with you guys. I know how everybody talks. I know people's mindsets and thought processes, and I just think that this lends to a really good conversation, and hopefully one of those that the replay gang is going to enjoy because this is some good nuggets of stuff that we can all think about. So I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the clip as well. Before I get over to Phil, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in. We got 188 people watching across all platforms, 136 on YouTube. So please, if you haven't already, smash that like button. I think we're around 70-something likes, so we can get that number up. Please consider smashing the like button for your boys out here. You know how we do. Anyway, and thank you to once again to everybody who subscribed. I know we picked up a new subscriber tonight. Thank you so much to I believe it was Na from Twitter. Shout out to you. And shout out to you and the ladies, because I know y'all ladies have put together a nice little Twitter lady community and y'all doing your own content and programming. I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all put out there. All right, keep it going, y'all. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Phil, what's your thoughts on Deuce? And then I'm gonna flip it back to you because I want to talk about Kolek and then hit you guys with a last question to get out of here.
Yeah.
Just about the Knicks overall. But yeah.
So here's the thing. Since back in the day, I always said Miles McBride is one of those guys that any boss would want working for them, because he is the kind of guy that sees what a need is within their team and he figures out a way to make that his skill set. Like, he doesn't have to start with that as his skill set. He makes that his skill set.
Now, that's a bar, Phil.
I try. So the crazy thing about McBride and the crazy thing about this current NBA is that back in the day, it seemed like offense just came naturally to players and you had to teach players how to be a defensive player, and now, it's the opposite with Miles McBride. Miles McBride was a dog out the gate defensively. Like, that's always been his strong suit. And everyone criticized, well, he's not really a shooter. He's not really a this. Well, he is one of the highest percentage 3-point shooters in the league. Like, this kid can shoot the three. And everyone criticized me last year saying, yeah, but if he gets more attempts, those numbers are going to go down. What did Deuce say? He said, shut the hell up. And he started to shoot more and proved all of them wrong by saying, guess what? I shoot more and my numbers are even better now. So this whole Marcus Smart thing is kind of crazy to me because Marcus Smart has been a great player. But that's the key word, has been a great player. Like, why are you going to take a player who is skyrocketing to new levels every single minute that he's in the league for a player who has a bunch of accolades from the past? This is a guy that can have a bunch of accolades for the Knicks now and in the future. So for me, I'm not living in the past. I'm looking at the here and now and saying, we have a player that can do what Marcus Smart has done, but more. Marcus Smart has never been a three-point threat. He has never been a driving to the basket threat. Like, he can shoot when he's open. He can, play great defense. But Miles McBride has everything that he has and more. So the whole idea of trading him is mind-boggling to me because this guy, has shown that he can ruffle feathers. Like, that play that Bully just had us replay, who the heck? It's one of those movies where you used to see, those karate movies where their special power was that they see, the next 5 punches that are going to come and that guy was able to block them. That's Miles McBride in the freaking NBA. He's able to say, I'm going to go against this one, and I feel like that guy's going to try to pick me too, and I'm going to go around him just in case. He's just got a mind on him that you want to build upon. And you got to think that this guy had never really started getting minutes till last year, so all of this development came from his hard work and his grind in the G League. So this kid is just hungry and thirsty. And I think that our team is going to be better around him. And the crazy is if you look at what Leon Rose has done, now he's put a veteran in Shamet next to him. Someone who has experience to help with the lack of experience of McBride. He also has Shamet, who showed last night that he can knock down a three-pointer with the best of them. So now you got 2 of these guys you got to worry about from the three-point line, and so it gives us opportunities. If you get Kolek McBride minutes, now you don't have to worry about someone facilitating because Kolek can handle that. And you find Kolek driving to the basket and then dishing out to McBride at the 3, it's just going to be drama for any team that tries to stop our second unit. So Miles McBride to me is a no touch. You do not touch this kid, especially at that contract. You don't hit the lottery and then go, I want to give away all the money.
To pay Marcus Smart $20 million.
Yeah, just doesn't make sense.
Can I add a little point real quick to the Marcus Smart thing? What team did he play for a while?
Boston.
With the Celtics?
I think you muted again, Ron.
The Celtics.
But so yes, he played for the Celtics, and you guys already know where I'm going with this. You already know where I'm going. They traded the guy, and within the year they won a championship. Not to say that he's not going to bring you anything. It's not what I'm saying. But they pretty much traded him for a better version of Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? If we're really being honest, him and Drew Holiday kind of bring the same thing to the table, just at a way different level, especially because Drew Holiday is just who he is. He's a 2-time NBA champion at this point. But I just wanted to throw it out there that, as much as we want to add a lot of these kind of pieces to our team,
he's got $40 million left on his contract. Nobody's supposed to pay that guy
that's
$40
million in your contract, and just to add to everything else we say. And you have, especially if it's to replace Deuce, I'm good. That's all I gotta say about that.
Check.
You back.
Okay. I don't know, man. Listen, I'm just getting through it. I'm getting through life. I'm getting through it. It's time for a new mic. It's all right. We'll get through it. I wanted to get back to Phil to kind of kick off a little Kolek talk. But before I did that, I just wanted to say, I think the Knicks are doing the right thing. And even though I said what I said earlier, but when I really think about it, this does work perfectly, right, guys? Because I didn't love Josh Hart at the 2, but I think Josh Hart at the 2 is like a smokescreen. Josh Hart is really the 4 of this team playing the 2, right? And I think that's how they're going to use him. I think you got the offensive firepower with Brunson breaking down the defense. He'll be able to dish to Macau or to OG, whether they be on the perimeter to shoot the shot or to take guys off the dribble and get their own shot. And then you got Karl Anthony Towns. This allows Karl Anthony Towns to hover around the perimeter to be where he likes to be, opens the lane. There's no center there. So Josh Hart can come flying in to get rebounds to help the guys, because we do have some question marks still about the rebounding efforts. Not the efforts, but the abilities of Macau and of OG. OG looked pretty good cleaning up the glass last night. So maybe this is a good sign going forward. But I think this does work really well, because even if I'm concerned about Josh Hart knocking down shots as a 2, he really won't be. All these other guys will be doing that, and he'll be disguised, but he'll be flying in, getting rebounds, and showing effort. I also think that Deuce with Shamet, and I just don't know how you could have this second unit and not have Kolek out there here and there. I just think he just makes
skipping over campaign.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I am skipping over campaign. I forgot all about him for a second there, because I do want to say one thing about campaign too. Campaign, I saw some people getting a little, you know how we are in New York. They were getting a little down about campaign, right? Campaign is clutch. This is one thing about campaign. He'll hit a big shot when you need a big shot. But
he did it against us.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't forget who he was. And you just got to give him some time. Let him get his rhythm. And even, it's funny, even last night in the preseason game, the game was, right there in the balance. Campaign hit a big 3. Like,
you know what you do, Ron? Right. You go, like, forget the second half. Go look at the first half when he was playing against NBA players. When he first came into the game, he was putting up buckets. Granted, the second half was terrible, but when he was going against NBA players, he was getting buckets.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Knicks have some stuff to look at, and I think the only way that first unit doesn't stay the same is if for some reason we're not being able to maximize Josh Hart's efficiency, like what he brings to the game. If it's just he's around too many, other people that's not allowing him to be free out there. And that's the only way I think they would switch it up and move Josh Hart to the bench so that he can be a little bit more free to do his thing. But other than that, I think I actually like it. The more I think about it, I'm falling in love with it. Okay, now that being said, let me get over to this Mr. Tyler Kolek, who to me I'm most excited for on this team. We got so much talent on this team, and I'm excited for Tyler Kolek. That's who I want to see. He's my new guy. I thought Josh Hart was my favorite player. I think Tyler Kolek has won me over. So let me just play this real quick for y'all. Y'all seen this already, but this is just another example of Kolek just doing Kolek things. You know what I mean? Here we go.
Getting some good minutes.
Look at the block. He plays defense.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Talk about me. All I could do is pass. Yeah, I pass. But what about this? Take this with you. Bang! Let's go, baby.
What?
You know what I really loved about that too? What I really loved about that too is I was watching the bench, and I was watching like Worldwide West and Leon Rose looking, and they looked like they had smiles on their faces just watching Tyler Kolek. Bill, your thoughts on Tyler Kolek? I know you're a big fan of his, but just how he looked even in a short period of time, going forward.
Here's the thing. My biggest frustration was that I believed in the potential of Quentin Grimes. But one thing Quentin Grimes never had was confidence. Like, you can have all the skill sets in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have the confidence, those skill sets don't really shine, because you're always second guessing. You're always doubting. You saw that with Grimes. He'd get a shot, he'd hesitate, and then by the time he was confident enough to shoot the 3, the defender was there. You have no fear in frickin' Tyler Kolek. Like, this kid is hungry and ready to play. That's one thing that you can't coach. Like, you can't put winning DNA in somebody that doesn't have winning DNA. Like, that's something when you get that and you see it, you want to foster that as much as possible. Like, the last thing you want to do, and this is something of the Knicks of the past, which I'm hoping we don't see that, is that you let the potential of a player sit stagnant for 1, 2, 3 years. And then when you're like, okay, now we're going to start using you, they're no longer the player that you first thought that they could be when you drafted them. Like, I want to see them utilize this kid's skill sets now, because he has shown, if you look at his college tape and even last night, he's got the winning DNA and point guard mentality of a Jason Kidd, a John Stockton, a Steve Nash, like someone that can see things that doesn't make sense to anybody else. Like, some of his passes, I was just like, how did he notice that? Like, I'm there and I have nothing occupying my time, and I couldn't see that that was an opportunity at all. Typically, I'm screaming at guards going, this guy's open, this guy's open. Tyler Kolek finds a way to see it before even the crowd is able to get frustrated that he doesn't see it. So for me, I think this kid has, a ceiling that is insane. Bully was talking about how he feels like, and Apollo, like, Sims' ceiling is low, so it's like, even if
it's the basement,
shut up. Even if he gets to be, better, like, his ceiling's not, whatever. But I feel like Tyler Kolek's ceiling is all the way up here, and it falls in line with everything. And this is the thing, is what we can get excited about is so many times with the Knicks, we've had something that we're like, okay, this team could be our right now, or this team can be our future. But now we're in a time where we could say this team can be our right now and our future, with guys like Kolek and McBride. And that's something to get excited about, is you could see the now in Jalen Brunson. You could see the future in Tyler Kolek if we foster it correctly. And so I think this is the kind of guy that you want to give minutes, you want to see develop, because I believe that he is kind of like what we saw in Miles McBride. You give him opportunities and he's not going to disappoint you. I do not think he's going to disappoint in any way, shape, or form, to the point that I'm ready to get my Tyler Kolek jersey tomorrow and wear that all freaking season long. I believe in this kid, and I'm excited to watch him grow. I think he can be the future of the New York Knicks.
Wow. I like it. That's some big words. And I agree with you. I think he has the talent. I know it seems a little early, guys. He's a rookie. It's all about, can he even get the playing time that is warranted for us to see his next steps? I get all of that. But this kid, his ability to get guys open, to find passing lanes, it's special. And we talked about, just how good this Knicks team can be. The other thing too is someone had a question, right? Ted Canova said, how concerned are you that we don't have someone to play the type of game as a Halliburton? So, I mean, any of you guys, if you want to chime in, you're welcome to give your opinion about it. But I just wanted to say really quick that I think, yes, do we have somebody like a Halliburton? Maybe not.
What does that mean?
I was trying to figure out what he meant exactly. Like defensively, the guard him, or
I think he means offensively, like someone who can give you that scoring and playmaking punch. But I think we may not have it in one person, but we've got it in multiple people. We've got pieces of it in multiple people. And all in all, that's what's going to make us a better team than what Indiana can present. They've got someone special in Halliburton. But on the flip side of it, yeah, we may not have a Halliburton, but we have a bunch of problems for Halliburton. Halliburton might face, it could be times where he faces, Deuce for a spell, and Deuce is on him, playing tough defense. And then he's like, okay, well, get Deuce out of here. Fine. Oh, now I'm dealing with Mikal Bridges. Oh, no, okay. Oh, wait, Mikal's taking this. Now I'm dealing with OG Anunoby. Like, oh, what? Oh, you think you got a slouch here? No. I might be dealing with Josh Hart. There's so many different people that can play Halliburton to make his life a lot more tougher. So I think we have an answer for him.
let's not forget he went against the injured Knicks team. But if you go back to the game where Brunson got punched in the face by the Pacers, Halliburton was on the bench, and he got benched. He's been a guy has been up and down. And granted, he's probably the second best playmaker in the league, but the drop off as far as playmaking from Halliburton to Brunson, it's not a wide gap. But I'm not sure about that question. It's interesting. But
here's the thing: when it comes to Halliburton, I personally don't want that. I don't want a player that we have to rely on so heavily that if they're gone, we don't contend. Like you look at our season last year, Brunson injured for a period of time, Randall injured for a period of time, OG injured for a period of time, Mitchell Robinson injured for a period of time. Yet we were still the second seed. Why? Because we didn't throw all of our eggs in one basket of a player that we relied on to get us to the golden, to the golden gates. That's the problem with Indiana is you knock out Halliburton for a certain part of the season and you might as well just wait till next season. Like that's not what we have here with the Knicks. And that's what I love is that if Jalen Brunson does get hurt, we can sustain for a certain period of time. If OG gets hurt, we can sustain for a certain period of time. Why? Because we're built not on the back of one player, but on the back of our whole starting lineup. And so I think for me personally, I'd rather have those skill sets put all over the place because it screws up a defense. Like who offensively is really someone that you're going, Halliburton's out. I really got to be careful for this guy.
They're playing team this year.
Yeah, exactly. So with us, we still got offensive and defensive players if somebody gets injured. It's spread about all over the place where we have at least 3 to 4 guys at any given time that you have to be worried about. So I like the way that we're structured way better than building something on a Halliburton type player.
Right.
Playing team this year.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Ted. Appreciate you, man. So just before we get out of here, like I said, I got one more question, but I just want to get you guys quick thoughts on Kolek because I want to get the realistic side of it, right? We know the kid's got talent. We know every time he's given an opportunity to show something, he shows something, and which that says a lot, right? But let's go back to the real. I'm still hoping that this year is different from any other year we've seen. But John, come on, this is Tibbs, man. Is Tyler Kolek going to get some love out there? It's preseason, so he has to play some of these guys. What you think?
It's very hard to gauge that with knowing Tibbs and what Tibbs has done in the past. What he showcased in yesterday's game was the 3-guard rotation of Campaign, Shamet, and Deuce, and so I'm thinking that that's what we're going to see to start the season off. Now, there's a potential that a trade may happen later down the road, maybe in February or something like that, or maybe injuries may play a part early in the season or maybe late in the season. I think that's when we'll start to see Kolek get some action. But I think to start off the season, I think he's going to rely heavily on the guys who he showcased on, his first off the bench unit. And I could see Kolek getting some time in the G League early on just to get his footing and making sure that he stays active, actively playing, actively running through, some of the sets that we run, just getting him comfortable with everything. And then, like I said, there may be opportunities in the near future sometime during the season. And he's got time to grow with this team. I don't expect to see him, living in the bench for 2-3 years. I don't think that's going to be his role either. I think in due time he will get an opportunity. I don't see that particularly for this year, like not unless something occurs. But that's just my opinion.
No, and I think it's a fair opinion. That's why I asked, because we know that we watched this Thibodeau coached teams for quite some time, and he's a creature of habit. Even if he expands and changes something up, we're even in a situation there where we don't know what we can, look forward to, because like you said, that 3-guard lineup off the bench looked pretty good. But guess what? We've got 4 guards. So even then, we're like,
but also when you think about Shamet, doesn't even have a guaranteed contract either.
No, not yet. But I think he's looking
no,
good.
but meaning
yeah.
that's also in question too, right?
Correct.
So it's like
That's true.
anything is possible. Would I like to see it? Yeah, I would like to see the kid get some run. But I don't necessarily think it will happen, especially the way Shaman is performing currently. Now, if he stinks it up the next 2 games, then anything that may shift, but we'll see. I don't think that to be so, though.
I agree with you on that. What you think, Apollo? How you feel about Kolek? Whatever you feel about his game, but also the chances that we actually, because I'm really high on Kolek, and I've said that the one thing I don't want, which is tough because the Knicks have to do what the Knicks have to do. We are trying to win a championship. But I would hate to give up on a talent like that. If we can hold him and stash him with us until we can, break that glass, I would rather have him here than get rid of him. But what's your thoughts on Kolek and just the fact of, how much we might even be able to see him, like John was saying?
I mean, you never really know, especially with a coach like Tibbs. You don't know what to expect. There's so many reasons why he would and he wouldn't play him, you know what I mean, based off of his own history. So it's like we got to pick apart which part of his history we're going to follow when it comes to Kolek. I guess one of the oldest Tibbs things is he doesn't play rookies. I mean, I guess it depends. He played RJ a lot, you know what I mean.
Quick got minutes too.
Quick got minutes, you know what I mean. So there's a few things. Kolek will earn minutes because as much as I have confidence in a guy like Campaign, he's not as consistent as he can be. There will be some games where, Cam is unplayable. You know what I mean? Like he's shooting too many shots. He's not making them. A few turnovers here. Let's get Kolek in there and see what we can get. You know what I mean? I don't think Tibbs will ever walk into a game knowing how many minutes he's going to play Kolek. You know what I mean? I think it's a bearing a situational kind of thing just this year alone, at least for the first half of the season, until he figures out rotations and guys that's going to play a lot. I don't know how much he's going to listen. I'm a big fan of Shaman from what he showed us yesterday. And just to touch on that a little bit, from what we lost with Dante, not just the shooting, but also just the defensive intensity at that position, just the scrappiness, getting in passing lanes and stuff like that, taking tough shots and hitting them. That's what we severely lost in that trade to me. I'm not going to say that we didn't lose anything with Julius. That's the obvious. But to me, the thing that bothered me most about the trade is, all right, well, what the hell are we going to do about everything that Dante did? You know what I mean? And I think that Shamet does come in for a lot cheaper, do a lot of what he does. You know what I mean? Especially with the energy. Chemistry is already there with a lot of the guys that he played with. But getting back to Kolek, I don't know, man. I would like to see Kolek play as much as possible. I'll say that. As much as he possibly can play, I want to see him playing. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of minutes. I do think it's going to be dependent on who we're playing a lot of times too, because he is a rookie. There's going to be guys that are going to test him at that position. There might be some mistakes made, but we're also talking about a guy who's played a ton of college experience and has a ton of college experience in the tournaments. So it's like, he should be playing a good amount of minutes. On any other team, he would be playing a good amount of minutes. So it depends on how our rotation, balances out, man. There's a lot of guards on this team. Kolek, if he can continue, he showed us a lot of shooting last night. I want to see a little bit more playmaking and guys actually finishing those playmaking opportunities. And just a little bit more of what we can see on the defensive end, because I think he's not going to back down to anybody. He's a tough player. He has a lot. He reminds me a lot of John Stockton in a way. Just in terms of his mentality. So he's going to force Tibbs' hand, if you ask me. I think he's gonna force Tibbs' hand. He just does too much team-oriented stuff for him not to play. You know what I mean? He's just too good at what he does at an early age. So I think he's gonna get some minutes, but I guess it depends on how many minutes everyone else gets in that rotation.
Yeah, no, I think that's the one thing I'm looking at. Like, it's a situation where even if the minutes aren't really there for Kolek because of all we're, how we're stacked up, he might force Tibbs' hand. That's a good point. Bully, your thoughts on Kolek? I know that's one of your guys.
No.
No.
I'll be. I'm not sure what to make of the guy. Like, I kind of agree with a little bit of what everyone said, but the thing is, if you're watching the games, like I didn't watch him a lot in college or at all, really. He was in the summer league against guys that are not going to be in the NBA. We saw a preseason game. He came in against third stringers on a terrible team. And yeah, it looked good. But like, honestly, I can't sit here and say for me that it's going to look like X, Y, and Z against NBA players, because you're not going to have those lanes. You're not going to have those crevices to get the ball in there. One thing that stood out, two things that stood out for me watching him yesterday, I saw a little bit of Pablo Prigioni dribbling with the head down. And granted, he hit some shots, but there was points where he had the ball on drives and his head is down looking for the pass, which it's not a bad thing, but I would have liked to see him be just a bit more aggressive, like on ball drives. The three ball looked good, but they were stationary or step into threes. I want to see him be a little more creative with the three. Again, second round pick. I haven't seen a lot of him outside of his time with the Knicks, but I'm curious to know, what does it look like against NBA players, like real rotational NBA players. And then like the question is, it's pretty much him or campaign. And I don't know the answer to this, but what's the situation where if you're Tibbs, where you say, you know what, Kolek's going to give me a better chance to win the game? Yeah, I don't know. And this is Tibbs. He's going to play his vets. So honestly, I can't say like yay or nay. Like I'm just going to say I don't know, because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it against NBA talent yet. So, but like, again, like to Phil's point, like I do see the ceiling. Like, you just don't have court vision. Like, regardless of who you're playing with, like court vision is court vision. Like, I want to see it when things get a little bit more tight, when defense are like really like locked in on ball and off ball. But like the vision is there. I think the ceiling is there. I think at minimum, he's going to be a productive NBA player at minimum. Anything more than that is going to be a plus. But I just got to see it. That's all. I just haven't seen it yet, if that makes sense.
Well, I think that's once again another fair assessment. But I do think that he's the type of player that he is going to be. You know how we always have gotten these guys, the Bino Udras and all these other dudes, like, oh, this guy could be like a Goran Dragic. And none of them have really been, Bino maybe a little bit. But none of these guys, we always thought we were going to get this guy that's like, I could say that I could see Kolek being like a Goran Dragic. With time, because of his court vision and his ability to shoot, because I do think I know I'm looking at a lot of.
Was he a shooter in college?
Yeah, well, I mean, he averaged 14 points on actually, let me just tell you what it was, just because that way everybody has an idea real quick, because we have talked about him a couple different times. Do I still have his numbers? I do. Look at this. Boom. He shot 49% from the field and 38% from three, almost 39% from three, 85% from the free throw line. So the guy can shoot. That's and then 7.7 assists, which was the highest total this past year in college basketball. He's got some stuff. He's got some stuff. So I feel really good about him eventually getting into the role. And dare I say it, I don't want to say it. It may not even come with the Knicks guys, but if we could just get as much out of him as we can while he's here, feels like that. I don't want to say it, but you know, if Jalen Brunson is here, you know, Jalen Brunson is here.
There's a reason they gave him that guaranteed contract. Like that just wasn't because they liked him. Like there's a reason they gave him like that type of contract. So it is I don't want it to happen, but there's a reason he got that contract.
So here's the thing. One thing we lost in Devo coming off the bench is assists. Okay. And if you look, Kolek fits that more than Campaign does, more than Landry Shamet does. So if you look at skill set wise, Shamet, McBride, and Campaign all kind of resonate in that same facility of shooters, you know, catch and shoot shooters. And so for me, this is what I'm at least hoping. I'm hoping that the position of Cam and Shamet is a battle between those two. And I think it was Cam's to lose, and Shamet being just on, you know, a possible, we'll see how it goes contract. I think if Shamet continues to play the way that he played yesterday, he might snag that position from Cam more so than he snags it from Kolek. And this is the reason I think that, because they both have very similar skill sets when it comes to Campaign and Shamet. And if you look at yesterday, Cam had some good minutes in the beginning, but then it was kind of just like he started doing these no-look, tried to get confident passes, turnover after turnover after turnover. And if you know Tom Thibodeau, something that pisses Tom Thibodeau more than anything is flashy turnovers. Like, if you turn it over, Thibodeau hates you. You turn it over because you were being flashy, Tom Thibodeau is going to punch you in the mouth. Like, that's the kind of thing that you see on the sidelines. And so if Cam continues to play that way, I feel like Cam can play his way out of a position that Landry Shamet plays his way into. And so for me, the reason I choose Kolek over one of those guys is because how does a catch and shoot player thrive? By having someone that draws the offensive attention. So you get a Shamet and a Campaign on the floor with a McBride or with each other, you're not finding someone to maneuver through the defense to create for you.
Yeah, would you give Kolek a little bit of time to?
Yeah, I'd throw him in the first few games just for a little bit, like here and there, just to start getting his feet wet and see if he can execute those kind of moves against the second units of the other teams. Because if he can actually pull that stuff off against the second units, it opens us up. Because otherwise, all we are is two catch and shoot players at the point guard and shooting guard position. Because as great as Miles McBride is, like we said, he's not a facilitator. Campaign is not necessarily a facilitator either. Landry Shamet, we saw it last night, is great at catch and shoot opportunities. All of them are waiting for someone to create for them. Tyler Kolek can fit that position for all of those guys. And so that's why I think those guys would be fighting for their positions more so. And if Tyler Kolek can prove himself in the few minutes that he gets, I think you'll start seeing him get more and more shine. Because in my opinion, if his defense can show that he can be, adequate, I feel like he can be what IQ didn't pan out to be for us. Like someone that can really, really facilitate, someone that can really, really shoot, but someone that can also, find opportunities for other people. Because if you look at IQ, the downfall for IQ was when he started playing like a Campaign or a Shamet, where he was solely out for his own shot. That's when Tom Thibodeau was like, all right, this is not my guy.
It's not RJ Barrett's fault.
Yeah, well, it could be. But when IQ became a shoot first, kind of player, you saw his minutes start to go down because we didn't need another shoot first kind of player. So right. I believe that Kolek can fit that need in that second unit to free up Miles McBride to get those open threes, free up Landry Shamet to get those open threes. Cut to the paint and help guys like Sims and Precious that are more catch and just dunk kind of players. You bring the defense to you, and you dish off. No one else can do that in the second unit like Tyler Kolek can. So I think that we test it and see if he actually is able to pull that off in the NBA. And if so, you see his minutes start to go up. That's at least my hopes and my thoughts.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm with you on that. I just want to give the guy an opportunity whenever it can present itself and see what he can do with it. But I got one last question, but I want to, shout out my brother Apollo over here because I know he's got to go. I want to say thank you, Apollo, for being here and rocking with us. It's always good to chop it up with all of you guys. But also, before you go, when's the next time Guard Up Knicks will be on doing their thing?
This weekend for it's hard to get these guys in one room at the same time. So we've settled on just getting at least with our guys with the team at least one episode a week on the weekends. So at least every weekend you'll see us have a couple of the shows throughout the week that we'll do. I'm definitely going to do a post game show, whether I'm probably going to be by myself or whoever. I might hit one of my guys up here to come on with me and do a post game show. But yeah, we're back up and running, man. We're rocking again. You'll see us Wednesday, and you'll definitely see us on the weekends.
Okay, sounds good, brother. Appreciate you once again. And you know what? I could ask you this real quick because this is going to be my last question to everybody.
Okay,
who's the better team after the trade, Minnesota or the New York Knicks?
The Knicks.
Oh, you didn't have to think about that?
No.
Y'all don't know what Minnie did last night?
Listen,
2 nights ago?
Minnie's good.
Shooting 4 for 4 from 3, baby.
That team is gonna be really, really good. That team is gonna be really good. I gotta go with my hometown team. I just think that we play a little bit more seamless. It's not as channeled through one avenue of just offense. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a little bit more of a 5-point offense with us. You know what I'm saying? So, and we also need some time to figure it out as they do too. So that's
all right.
We'll see how it remains to be seen. But thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you giving me a call. My man, Phil, I'll talk to you soon. Bully, I'll talk to you soon, man. John, Ron, thank y'all for having me. Yo, chat, salute to the chat, man. Y'all have a good one.
Always a pleasure, Apollo. Appreciate you, bro.
Always, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Later, bro. And so now I got to get that question over to my guys so we can get out of here. And I need to know this because Minnesota is like the best team ever created now. They got Julius Randle and they got Dante DiVincenzo. They're going all the way. What say you, John?
Wow, you coming to me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, I think the Knicks win in a trade just because it gives us more versatility. The starting unit can also are going to play a lot of minutes. So with some bench players as well. So I don't necessarily see a bench unit without a starter in it. So with that it brings versatility. And I think we're just overall going to have the better season. So.
Wow. I like it. Interesting. I was thinking that y'all were going to say Minnesota. I mean, come on, man. Come on. All right. Sorry. Bully, your thoughts, Minnesota or the Knicks? Who's the better team? I mean, we got a revolutionary transitional type talent. Anthony Edwards, baby, he's the new big ticket. Come on, baby, Minnesota or the Knicks?
That's a tough ask, a new big ticket. But in fairness to your point about the Wolves, both teams got better. Like I'm not sure if the trade was a win-win, but both teams got what we needed, and they got deeper. What's interesting, is something with Rudy Gobert in offenses, where you look at someone like Rudy Gobert and you assume it's going to be a bad offense. He's in the way. He's clogging the paint. Go look at some of those Utah teams under Quinn Snyder and go look at some of those offenses. So I'm looking for them to have a similar offensive year as Donovan Mitchell's last year with Utah, where you have like the big, then you have, Ant Edwards. And then with Randall, I'm not sure if anyone's saying it or not, but are we sure that he's going to be there the entire season? Are we 100% sure on a championship team he's a starter? Like, I think his play style, he's so unique, the way he plays. In some cases, he may be better off suited as a six. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's what goes through my head. But no, both teams got better, but the Knicks are the better team. Especially with the starting lineup. Usually with us Knicks fans the past few years, what we were always saying, oh, they have the best bench in the league. Look at our bench. Tibbs, Herpin go to the bench. And now it's completely flipped, where it's the starters are the better unit. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But for me, it's the Knicks. The Knicks are a better team. Even Vegas thinks that the Knicks have the third best odds, according to Caesars Sportsbook. And their odds went up after the trade, and then so did the Wolves, which is interesting. On the money wise, it went up for both teams. So yeah, Knicks are better, but both teams got better.
Yeah, I think personally, I think that both teams are gonna, in the short term, be very happy with the results of the trade. I think in the long term, the Knicks will fare better because I think the Knicks addressed what they were missing. And the spacing and all the stuff that we've talked about, I think that's just going to help the Knicks to do things that they haven't been used to doing ever. We haven't had a cat, that
there hasn't been a lot of cats in NBA history.
Right. And as good as Patrick Ewing is, I'm not comparing these two because I saw there was some comparison in the chat earlier. Patrick Ewing is a Hall of Famer. He's incredible. One of the best defensive bigs. I'm not doing that, okay? And he could score with the best of them. He was just a different type of scorer, played in a different era. If Pat Ewing came out of college right now, he'd be shooting threes, okay? And I think he would knock him down at a pretty good clip because he was a decent shooter. So I don't want to talk about that part. But Cat just gives us a versatility that we haven't had in a long time.
Ever. It's okay.
Ever.
Versatility.
Okay. Not I want to say it ever. We've never had that type of versatility.
At the center,
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to what comes of it. I will say, though, if you ask me, Julius Randle will be a good piece for Minnesota, and he'll be a piece that can help them continue to do what they've been doing. But the Dante DiVincenzo pickup is going to be huge for that team. They're going to really see what they were missing because that whole going between Cat and Anthony Edwards and trying to find who's that extra person who can knock down big shots for them off the bench or however they want to do it. Dante is that guy.
Are you seeing the chat? It's like Knicks versus 718 freshman. What's up?
Knicks didn't need Macau.
The Sixers are better. He's
I don't know. I don't know. 718 fresh. I can't say that. Yeah, it's all right though. Listen, we welcome all of that. That's good because without the trolls, without the hate, what would we be talking about? We need that. It's good. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button and subscribe if you don't mind. Yeah, man, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that real quick because I know a lot of people are still trying to process this trade. It's only been one preseason game. And the first thing I heard was when Minnesota played before us. Man, Dante, look, he hasn't missed a beat. He looks great. Oh, it's tough. So I just want to throw that out there. Shout out.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't think that it's like Bully was saying that one team won this trade. I think if you look at the divisions that we're in and the teams that we're competing with, I think that we both got the missing pieces that we needed to compete with the best in our division. So if you look at where we're at, you have a league that in the East has a lot of bigs that are stretch bigs in the East. Like that's something that is hard for the East to compete with what we had. We didn't have any stretch big at all. So if you look, you have the Indiana Pacers with Miles Turner. They can stretch. They have a stretch big. Okay. Porzingis, one of the best stretch bigs in the league. Eastern Division. Nikola Jokic, East, Chicago, stretch big. You got Orlando Magic, their guys, their power forwards and their centers all can shoot threes. You got, Embiid now trying to like develop an elite 3-point. Like he can shoot the three, but you see him all off season improving his 3-point shot. So for us, that's something that we value and obviously did not have to compete in the East, was having a stretch big. Now we have that. You look at the West, some of the best teams, yes, their bigs can shoot a three and they have 3-point shooters, but even Dallas, where does Jokic get most of his points? In the paint. Who else gets in the paint? Aaron Gordon. Who else gets in the paint? Most of their other guys. What did Minnesota have? They had a guy that spent a lot of time being a stretch big in a league that didn't necessarily need a stretch big on the West Coast against teams like the Clippers and the Lakers and the Warriors. None of those guys are focusing on stretch bigs on the West Coast. So now they have another elite in the paint player in Julius Randle. But they also get Dante DiVincenzo to free up the scoring responsibilities from Anthony Edwards, and who can also play really, really good defense against the guards. Who are the scorers mostly on the West Coast besides Jokic? The guards, the Steph Currys, the freaking Shea Gilchrist Alexanders, those are the guys that you need an actual defender on. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't really help there. Who helps now? Dante DiVincenzo helps. Who helps with the power forwards that score a lot, with the Kawhi Leonards and the, whatever? Julius Randle. So it was actually both teams getting what they needed to be better at in their own division. So for me, it actually washes each other out. I think both teams got better, and both teams are better contenders in their own division by the trade. That's why it makes so much sense.
And they have their stretch big in Naz Reid.
Yeah, exactly.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited for what this season is going to be. It's going to be a lot of good basketball, a lot of new stuff to talk about with these changes. And I just hope that one thing I will say, I hope that Julius doesn't get flipped at the trade deadline back to the East Coast. I don't want to see that. Just saying. Just keep him where he's at. He can sign somewhere at the end of the year, but I don't want him being flipped back.
If he
goes anywhere, I think it's Dallas.
Yeah, well,
I'm looking at Brooklyn. Because if he doesn't get a contract, if you look at the teams that's going to have cap space, they're one of the teams.
Could be. You never know.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, let me get around to everybody for final words. Phil, yeah, thank you for being here, brother. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. I always feel like you're a genuine person, and I think our friendship is one that I value. We met in this Knicks community, and we've been cool ever since, man. It's been fantastic. It's family. What's going on with you, brother? What's anything we should look for next?
Yeah, so follow on Twitter and Instagram at Phil_all_caps. I was never really a morning person anyway. So, I'm a night owl anyway. So, things kind of just work itself out. There's nothing to brew about. I'm just going to, chill and enjoy my nights. So right now I'm focusing on the Knicks nightcap with my guy Bully, my guy Iru, my guy Apollo. It'll be one night a week. We got some things to talk about. So I plan on talking to those guys this week to figure out, how we're really going to push forward with this. But for me, that was some of the most authentic conversations I've ever had around the Knicks. Was just sitting at the round table, no agendas, with these guys, no expectations of what it needed to become. We just had a good time. These are three brothers that I decided to do the show with, and I asked to do it because at the end of the day, I was having most of my Knicks conversations with those three guys via text, via Instagram, via Twitter. And they were just people that I felt like were family. So I'm looking forward to a full season of, Knicks nightcap and being able to just build on that. But like you said, bro, since day one, you and John have been like family. You guys, since the first conversation you had, we supported you guys, you supported us. And that's something that I don't take for granted. Like I love you guys like my brothers. I believe in everything that you guys do. And I know kind of like with Kolek, I know the ceiling's all the way up here with you guys. You guys do not have a Jericho Sims channel. Jericho Sims takes, as Bully would put it. And I really believe in you guys and what you do. So thank you guys for having us. Thank you for wanting to get the band together. And in the season where I was really wrestling with, do I care? Does my voice need to be heard? You guys wanting that voice to be heard meant a lot, so I appreciate both of you guys. And you will be seeing more of the Knicks Nightcap in the next few weeks. So thank you guys so much.
Appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here and rocking with us as always. And our guy Bully, man. Bully, I know you got a lot of stuff cooking. I know you love the music. I know you got, talk about it.
So first, I want to thank both of you guys, and I'm surprised. I talk a lot. Like I talk a lot. I'm long-winded. I was waiting for one of the guys. I was waiting for one of the guys to tell me, "Yo, Bully, wrap it up." Like, hey, this take is like a 10-minute take, man. But appreciate you guys for letting me rock. But before I do, for your giveaway, for those that don't know, I do a music show. We just got 3 big sponsors. Guitar Center, Happy Trails Music Shop, and also Minute Media. So we're gonna have some giveaways. So what we're gonna do when you guys do your giveaway, at the playlist 100, and we're gonna throw in a subscription for Apple Music or Spotify for the year.
Wow.
Apple Music for the year, I believe it's like 112, and Spotify, whatever it is, it's gonna be on us for the year. So all you gotta do is just subscribe to this channel, like and subscribe to our channel, and we're gonna throw in that giveaway. And Matteo, whenever you guys do a giveaway, we'll try to add something into it. As far as the Knicks, I'm all over the place. I'm here, I'm there. I do have a show, but it's not gonna be for a little while. It's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be called Knicks Culture, and it's gonna be like every 2 weeks. It's not gonna be a weekly show. I'm still trying to work out the kinks, but it's gonna be more of the sports reporters version of a Knicks conversation, hitting some hard-hitting topics. But so we're throwing that giveaway for you guys. So whenever you do it, just let us know. Please give us a follow as well. Me and my buddy Ray, Kathy, my buddy Jason. And these are guys that are in the music industry. Our buddy Ray just did the Weeknd's tour in Brazil. He did Beyonce, the Super Bowl. He did everything. But yeah, so we'll do that. So just let me know. Just shoot me a DM, or I'll give you my phone number. Shoot me a text, and then I'll give you the information to give to whoever wins it. Maybe we'll do, like, for our portion of it, like a little spin wheel of fortune thing or whatever, and pick the.
Oh, we're gonna have to do that anyway. Yeah.
So we'll throw it in there for our listeners and your listeners as well. But that's it. And I see Phil's like, Bully, shut up, man. You're going too fucking long.
No, bro. I love it. I love it, bro. I love it.
So,
but that's it, man.
I knew you were long-winded when I asked you to join. I love your long-winded take.
But you know what the problem is, and I think I know it all. I don't really think I'm ever wrong when it comes to the Knicks. And oftentimes, I get humbled. We did a show for about 3 months last year, Phil, right before the playoffs. And like, you go back and you watch, and like, man, I really said that. I really said this. And like, well, damn, Phil was right. My bad. But yeah, man, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I can say that I definitely enjoy speaking to you. The conversation is always good. And I like the fact that, you have strong opinions, but you back up a lot of your opinions with the data. And that is the key. It's one thing to have opinions and be like, well, yeah, that's how I feel. Well, okay, but but the fact is you back up your stuff with data a lot of times too. So I can't even argue with you. I'm like, you know what? He right.
So can
I
I just read
appreciate
this?
you.
Can I just so we can all just have a good laugh?
Mhm.
Sixers build their team to beat us. They are better scale or whatever. Martin, Reggie Jackson, and Drummond play like monsters tonight. I'm worried the cat trade hurt us. What?
Listen,
718, I love you, man.
I like the fact that, okay, so at least by you saying this, lets me know you are a Knicks fan. Okay. You are a very pessimistic Knicks fan, but you're a Knicks fan nonetheless. And so all I can say is that give it a chance, man. Remember, you're talking about, I know we all know the best of cat. We all know the worst of cat, but we don't know the Knicks cat. Give this cat a different look, man. Let him come here under Tom Thibodeau. Once again, I don't know if you've watched 718 Fresh. I don't know if you watched Still Knicks Fans before, but one of the things we point to is the fact that Tom Thibodeau, I mean, should I say under Tom Thibodeau, Karl Anthony Towns has had his best years. All right. And that's not a fluke because Thibodeau has a certain scheme, a certain plan that effectively works for bigs in the league. We've seen a bunch of it. All right. So give this guy a chance to work with Cat and get Cat back to the type of Cat that we will say, man, Cat looks great out there. Give him a chance, man. Cat's got the ability. Everybody has a different coaching style. Tibbs knew how to lock in. And one more thing about that, another thing that we can't, the last 3 years have shown us, everybody that has come to the Knicks has played either their best basketball or had career seasons. So give Tom Thibodeau a chance to work with Cat and see what he does.
And that includes Cam Reddish.
Well, yeah, for whatever we had. Yeah. We got the best of Cam in the NBA. Yeah. Oh boy.
You stupid.
Oh man. Anyway, let me get over to my guy John. Final words, my brother.
As always, I want everyone on the chat and everyone watching from all the different platforms to stay safe out there, stay blessed, keep it happy, and looking forward to the next one. Appreciate you guys for joining us today.
There you
Real
go.
quick,
There you go.
real quick. To all of our family and friends that are watching or will watch that are in Florida, please be safe. Like, you are in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Like, it's been one thing after another. So please take care of yourselves. I've known, some people trying to ride it out. Like, at the end of the day, sticking with your stuff is not worth the risk. At the end of the day, it's just stuff. Protect yourselves, get out of there if you're supposed to, and just make sure you're taking care of your friends and family and looking out for each other in this season. So
that's I echo those sentiments, man. Definitely. Appreciate all of you guys for being here and watching this great show. It was dope to be able to chop it up with all the Knicks Nightcap guys. Appreciate you guys, man. So and I want to say also thank you to our guy Jay Boogie. You came in a little late, Jay Boogie. I don't know if you're still here because it's kind of late. You might have bounced. I know you had a long day. I talked to you earlier this morning, so I get it. So I don't know if you saw it, but we did play your video. So I just want to say shout out to you once again. Thank you for doing that, and thank you to Julian Blum for working on the visuals and stuff. And shout out to Mike Blaze for working on the track. You guys did great work, and definitely please go support Jay Boogie. Guys, this is going to be one of those years that's a little different from other years. We have talked about Jay Boogie a lot in this Knicks community. He's always been a valued member. He's always been someone that supports everybody's shows, and all he wants in return is just a little love on his end. All we need is for you guys to continue to send people to Jay Boogie's YouTube channel, continue to big him up, because what we want in the end is for Jay Boogie to be able to perform at Madison Square Garden, 12 o'clock noon at Christmas Day, Spurs versus Knicks. Right, so he can perform back on Christmas. If he's out there with Cully and Papa Left doing it, great. But if he's out there by himself, but let's just get him out there. He should be out there performing that song. It's a Christmas anthem on Christmas Day at the Garden versus the Spurs. Let's see what we can do, man. Let's keep spam Jay Boogie everywhere you can. Okay, appreciate all you guys. All right, so
can I show something real quick?
Oh yeah.
The screen that I try to share, can one of you guys share it real quick? Because I thought it was the funniest tweet I've ever seen. This duo just combined for 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks in the first half.
Oh.
Fire. LeBron, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Bronny, 1 rebound.
That's messed up.
I thought that was hilarious. Give a little
Bronny's
laugh
gonna have
before we get out of here.
Bronny's gonna have a long year, man. So
yeah, bro. That was hilarious.
oh boy, it's gonna be rough. Well, that's okay. We'll get through it. Anyway, as I always say, guys, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Monday nights at 9 p.m. for SKF Weekly with myself, my brother John, and soon to be Jose on the ones and twos behind the scenes, or on Saturdays at 11:30-ish for Know the Ledge, as I help talk you guys off the ledge after this Nick week that we might have or can have in the future. And then obviously
for
also
3-4 hours. I mean,
yeah, for 3-4 hours. You know how work. I do. But also, please stay tuned to also the Nothing But Knicks content. We will get back into the swing of things. We're currently talking about the new programming and different things that we're going to be doing this year outside of the stuff that you're used to seeing. So stay tuned. We got a lot cooking, man. But once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And for those that may be watching on Twitter or Facebook, share this out to all your people so they know that we out here rocking. And please continue to support and tune in to these guys, Phil, Bully, Eru, Apollo, on all their respective shows, as well as when they get together and do the Nick Nightcap for you guys. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great season, and I can't wait. And listen, you might have heard me say this before, but it doesn't matter. The ups, the downs, the good, the bad, no matter what. Guess what, guys? We are still Knicks fans. We out of here, baby. Let's go.
Freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.